Hello, dear viewers. Whether here in New York City, this site of our United Nations, or whether in Thailand, or indeed anywhere around the world, I am Dr. Suriya Jindawong, the Ambassador and Permanent Representative of the Kingdom of Thailand to the United Nations, newly arrived about several weeks ago. I just want to talk to you from the heart today and share with you some thoughts about an important day for Thailand and the Thai people with regard to multilateralism, and that is the 15th of December. For the Thai people, this date marks the 75th anniversary, yes, 75th anniversary of Thailand's membership in our United Nations. Thailand, a small country in Southeast Asia, a founding member of the Association of Southeast Asian Nations, or ASEAN, and the present-day headquarters of the Economic and Social Commission for Asia and the Pacific, ESCAP, the UNDP regional offices, and many other UN agencies. Thailand joined the United Nations 75 years ago. And it is on this day, the 15th of December 1946, here in New York City, at the 67th plenary meeting of the second part of the first General Assembly, sometime between 8:30 p.m. in the evening and 12:45 a.m. in the morning of the 16th of December, that the United Nations General Assembly unanimously admitted Thailand to the UN. Now, we're not sure whether it was before midnight, on midnight, at midnight, or right after midnight, but it was indeed on the last day of that first session of the General Assembly. And that is a good thing, because otherwise Thailand would have to wait another year. Now, this decision by the UN General Assembly followed the unanimous affirmative recommendation of the UN Security Council just a few days earlier. The bottom line is that Thailand was proud to have been admitted to the United Nations 75 years ago, and thereby continues its over a century tradition of partnership with international organizations in service to humanity. Why? Well, as a responsible partner of the international community of nations. Indeed, Thailand's association with multilateral diplomacy is long-standing. After all, Thailand was a member of one of the world's first international organizations, and that's the International Telecommunications Union, or ITU, way back in 1883. And we were one of the 32 founding members of the League of Nations in 1990. Throughout the over 7 decades of Thailand's engagement with the United Nations, Thailand has partnered with the UN to uphold the principles of the UN Charter and to advance the goals and pillars of cooperation of the UN. From active engagement in multi-dimensional peacekeeping operations in several continents, to advancing international collaboration for nuclear disarmament. From championing sustainable development across the developmental divide, to promoting health care for all through universal health coverage. From promoting and protecting the rights and welfare of women, children, and other vulnerable groups, to supporting multi-stakeholder efforts, protecting our planet from the adverse impacts of natural disasters and climate change. So for over 70 years, our partnership with the UN has withstood the test of time and the challenges of change. For many decades now, Thailand also believes in the indispensability of an active interface between the United Nations and regional organizations such as the Association of Southeast Asian Nations, or ASEAN, because we believe that the common challenges of humanity can be more effectively addressed through a combination of national, regional, and global efforts, all working in tandem. In this endeavor, we believe in the active contribution of regional commissions such as ESCAP and the United Nations Development Program, amongst others, to help attain the global agenda, and especially the SDGs. Most importantly, Thailand believes in the centrality of people, their interests and welfare, their hopes and dreams. These are critical, indeed central, to our ongoing efforts to attain sustainability and in driving forward the Thailand United Nations partnership. So as we celebrate the 75th anniversary of Thailand's membership to the United Nations, we take this opportunity to renew our commitment to supporting this foremost international organization that has done so much to advance the interests of humanity. Now, as then, Thailand looks forward to continuing our support for the United Nations in order to realize our shared promise to secure a world where everyone can flourish in peace, dignity, and equality on a healthy planet. I thank all of you for joining me in this celebration of the 75th anniversary of Thailand's membership in our United Nations. And as I stated to the UN Secretary General when I presented my credentials just last week, long may Thailand-United Nations relations endure. Thank you.